Hello, Miss McDonald. Mr. McDonald's. I want some fries. Oh, hello, camera. Well, once again, you found me in my element, lost on a farm in the middle of nowhere. But, as usual, there's a camera in front of me, so I'm going to talk about a film. An interesting movie. How do I even start with Babe, Pig in the City? Which, if you've seen it, you know. If you haven't seen it, you're in for a surprise. So, Babe is, a movie. Have you seen Charlotte's Web? Have you heard of Charlotte's Web? It's Charlotte's Web, except exchange the spider for sheep farming and sheep wrangling with the pig instead of a dog. That's Babe 1. It's cute. That's Babe 1. It's cute. It's simple. You got talking pig. You got talking animals. A weirdly upper-end cast of known actors in it, providing the voices, and some early, really still pretty good, honestly, CGI effects of the mouths flapping on the animals, like la 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 la, like that. Looks pretty good, especially for the time. I think it won an Oscar for that. So, that led to Babe 2. Babe 2. Pig in the City, which is directed by George Miller. George Miller, who was involved in, he was, I think, the co-director of the first film. He had the sole writing, directing credit on this and the second one. And he basically had a blank check. So what happens when you have an auteur director with a blank check asked to make a kid's film? You get a waking nightmare. And also a waking nightmare, but a waking nightmare that lost the studio thousands of dollars, that lost the studio millions of dollars, and helped contribute to a total regime change at that studio afterward. So, fun for all ages, except for the children who were probably traumatized. So, if I just describe the plot of Babe 2, you're going to think I'm insane and lying. One of these things are true. You get to figure out which. Because this movie just sounds like an insane fever dream, which it is. But I do recommend watching it. I don't recommend watching it under any influences because that will make this thing a bad trip. Almost guarantee it. There's a lot happening here, and you want all your faculties in tip-top shape to absorb the Talking Pig movie. I'm serious. So, do I want to give a spoiler warning for Babe 2, Pig in the City? Because this movie is like 20 years plus old now. That pig is clearly bacon. Everyone in this movie is bacon by now. Except for the human actors who I think are mostly still alive. Ish. I'd have to look, but I don't want to because I'm lazy. And that would be depressing. But yeah, I would recommend going into this thing somewhat blind if I haven't already convinced you to look at it. The trailer does nothing because it hides everything that's in here, because Universal saw this and went, what the fuck do we do with this movie that is meant to be one of our big anchor blockbusters for the year that's borderline unreleasable? They bury is what they kind of do. And they dump it out real quick, and they lose a bunch of money, and they moved on. Because everyone who was involved that greenlit it got fired. And George Miller got blacklisted from making kids' movies for probably like a decade. And then he made Happy Feet, the tap dancing penguin movie. Also George Miller. That I should mention is the guy who made Mad Max, and did Mad Max Fury Road a couple of years later to giant acclaim, and redefined the action-adventure post-apocalypse genre that he made again for a second time. That George Miller did Babe, Pig in the City. Also, Happy Feet. I'm not talking about Happy Feet. I don't care. It's tap dancing penguins, and Elijah Wood's one of them, and it's got an environmental message. I don't care. I'm going to talk about Babe 2. So what is Babe 2 doing? Babe 2 starts with what was clearly meant to kill off a main character from the first film, the farmer. Babe apparently, happenstance happens, stuff happens, accidents happen, nearly kills his farmer, puts the farm in immediate dire straits because apparently the sole moneymaker of the farm is the main farmer, and the farmer's going to get foreclosed on because he's in traction, thanks to Babe. So Babe and the farmer's wife go off to the city to attempt to attend a animal show to show off Babe's sheep herding skills to make some appearance money. Things don't go well. They go immediately awry because of a drug dog at an airport. And this proves that ACAB applies to animal police as well. I'm sorry, Zootopia. ACAB. ACAB, ACAB, ACAB. Yeah. Police dog screws him over. And Babe and the farmer's wife wind up trapped in the city. The city, which is a horrifying amalgamation of every major metropolitan city all at once. Shown by a shot of the harbor, which has Statue of Liberty, the Sydney Opera House, Big Ben, multiple bridges, and so on and so forth. In this horrifying shot of amalgamation, I'm like, oh god, are we on Pangea? Did that happen between movies? Did the continents realign? And it keeps continuing from here. The majority of the film takes place in this hostel that is basically a boarding house for mentally disturbed animals. You've got a room full of cats that are a massive church, and every one of their scenes of them singing choir, which, cool, I endorse. That's fine, that's perfectly normal. A trio of monkeys that are owned by Mickey Rooney in a borderline horrifying role as this mute clown mental patient man. That's, he's creepy. Like, legitimately, he looks mentally unwell, and then you go from his introduction of being weird and creepy and mute to suddenly he's a clown. And all the monkeys are doing clown shenanigans and shtick for sick children in a children's hospital that apparently is next door. And stuff like this just keeps happening. Things get wrecked, things get burned down. The movie moves on to becoming kind of Holocaust imagery and messaging because of animals being subjugated and attacked, and the hotel gets raided by the animal control like Gestapo. We see a dog get bite onto the back of a car, get driven around for a while, gets knocked off. Dog in a wheelchair, by the way. And we briefly see the dog in doggy heaven, where he's bouncing around trying to eat butterflies, while we get a shot of his wheelchair on the ground, wrecked, with the wheels spinning till it stops. He's fine, though. And this all leads to a finale where a woman is wearing a giant inflated clown costume and bouncing around on banners and ropes in the middle of a ball, trying to catch a pig, while a chef's also trying to catch the pig to kill it for reasons. This is a weird movie. This is a very, 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 very weird movie. Entertaining as hell, but weird. It is a deeply strange fever dream of a film that's weirdly compelling and good. The other performances are actually all really good. The writing is strangely good. And there's a horrifying amount of behind-the-scenes work because these are the days before heavy CGI was the norm. So while there is heavy CGI, it's mostly just to make these animals talk and to composite the animals together in different scenes. There are still like 700 actual animals on screen being managed by animal handlers to act in front of the cameras, including multiple chimpanzees and apes and an orangutan. And the orangutan is one of the best characters because he's got this sullen, sad look to him the entire movie. And I'm like, that's a good damn monkey. That's a good monkey actor. Get me that monkey to play Dr. Zaius. Again. Get me that man to play Dr. Zaius. Get me that monkey to play Dr. Zaius. Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius. Oh, Dr. Zaius. Get me that monkey. Yeah, this is a weird movie. Watch it. That's about all I got to say. I don't actually... Is this a kid's movie? It's meant to be one. I don't think it is. This is way too dark for most kids, and especially who it was aimed at. This is closer to Animal Farm than Charlotte's Web, honestly, so... If you happen to have children who you feel like need to be challenged by their entertainment very heavily, and probably at a weird and a young age, you could give this a try. You're going to have to explain some things afterwards. You may traumatize them, but that's childhood. I grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s and the early 90s. My entire childhood was trauma. I'm not going to elaborate. That's just how it is. Anyway, like and subscribe, etc., etc., etc. I am on a farm. I suppose I could go moonlight as a pig. Oink, oink, oink. So on and so forth. Roll around my own filth. As you do. My average Tuesday. Like and subscribe, etc., etc. Join my Patreon. Give me money for porn. Yada, 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 bing. Good night. Go away. Bye-bye.